Okay.
Um, Hello, everybody. Thank you for being with us. My name is David Winterflood, and I'm the acting director of the Anal Cancer Foundation. And it's my pleasure to be with you for this special workshop on March 21 or March 21st, depending on your geography, Anal Cancer Awareness Day. What is this day about? Well, Anal Cancer Awareness Day is the official day to raise awareness of anal cancer around the world. And our objective at ACF is to shine the light on anal cancer thrivers, our name for people that have gone through treatment, and educate the broader community about the disease. And on this day, people all over the world show their support for people living with and recovering from anal cancer. So thank you for your courage and for being with us today. Every year, around 12,500 people are diagnosed with anal cancer in the United States alone. Each month, more than that number visit our online resources at the Anal Cancer Foundation to get information to support them on their journey from tips for the newly diagnosed, information about treatment, managing the side effects of chemoradiation, to reading thriver stories. Others join our free peer-to-peer support program, and more still join us for our Facebook Lives and webinars like this one. Our mission is to ensure that no one faces anal cancer alone. And the fact that you're here with us today is an indication that we're having success towards that goal, but we're ambitious and have plans to that effect. So stay tuned for some news about more expert hour webinars in the coming months and the Anal Cancer Patient Summit returning this year, which we'll be releasing news about soon. In terms of today's session, some brief housekeeping notes. We're going to be undertaking 3 exercises led by the wonderful Jenny today. And after those writing exercises, you are welcome to share any comments or reflections in the chat. Or if you wish to speak, do let us know in the chat and we can promote you to a speaker role and you'll be able to talk to the broader group. So if you have a camera and a microphone set up on your computer, you require that if you want to be speaking to the group, or you can just put it in the chat, as we say. That's enough from me. Before we begin, I want to extend my thanks to the Farrah Fawcett Foundation for making this webinar possible. It's my pleasure to hand over to Jenny, who will be leading us in today's workshop. So, without further ado, Jenny, I am going to hand over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Hello and welcome everybody to Right to Release. I'm Jenny Ford. I'm an author and creator of Right to Release, and I am an anal cancer thriver. Having been through my own cancer journey, I know how difficult it can be to express what you're feeling. Writing became a powerful tool for me, a way to process emotions, find clarity, and to heal. Today we'll explore that through 3 guided writing exercises focused on mind, body, and spirit. There's no right or wrong, just a space for you to write, reflect, and release. Now, there's only going to be 8 minutes for each exercise. I know it doesn't sound very long, but just write down whatever you can. You can always go back to it later on. But the idea is just to release all those thoughts, those feelings and emotions that you have inside of you. So, without further ado, we will start off with a short meditation to get us going on the workshop. So if you could all find a comfortable position, allowing your body to relax. And when you're ready, just gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Now take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, and releasing any tension that you may be holding. Let's do that again. Breathe in, filling your lungs with calm, and exhale, letting go of any worries or distractions. As we begin this journey of self-expression, set an intention for yourself. It might be to release emotions you've been holding on to bring clarity to your thoughts, or simply to honour where you are today. Whatever it is, allow this intention to guide your writing. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to do this, just your way. You are safe here, free to explore, free to express, and free to release. Now, take one more deep breath in and release. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and allow your words to flow onto the paper. Now, David, could we put the first slide up, please? So the first exercise we'll be doing is for the mind. So a safe space for your thoughts. Going through a cancer diagnosis, we have a lot of thoughts that go racing around in our mind, and sometimes we just don't know how to release that. So this is what this first exercise is. So if your mind had a voice right now, what would it say? What thoughts, worries, or emotions been circling round? Imagine giving them a safe space to land on the page. You don't need to judge or edit. Just write freely, allowing your thoughts to flow. As I say, we're going to give you 8 minutes to do this, and just release whatever you can, whatever is on your mind right now, and just let the words flow.
We have just about 1 minute left on this initial prompt.
Okay. So the purpose of this exercise is to create space to acknowledge your emotions and to clear mental clutter. Now just take a moment to check in with yourself. Um, take a sip of water, close your eyes, and just take a few deep breaths. Just take a moment for yourself right now. Okay, if you're ready, we'll go on to the next slide. You have the next slide, please, David. So this one is all about the body. Our body has gone through a lot. So we need to just take time to listen, to listen to our body and just to take note of what it's trying to say to you. So close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath and tune into your body. Where do you feel tension, discomfort, or maybe even strength? Now, if your body could write a message to you, what would it say? What does it need from you today? Does it need rest, kindness, or patience? Write from the perspective of your body, giving it the voice that it deserves. Again, we will take 8 minutes for this exercise.
1 minute to go on that reflection, that second prompt.
Okay, so the purpose of that exercise is that it encourages self-compassion and helps reconnect with your body in a supportive way. So again, we're just going to take a moment just to check in with yourself. Give your body a nice gentle stretch and have some water. When we've gone through all the exercises, there will be a chance to reflect and share if anybody wishes to do so. So don't worry about that, but just take a moment. Okay, so the third and final exercise is a letter to your future self. Now imagine yourself 6 months or a year from now. Picture the version of you who has continued to heal, grow, and move forward. Now write a letter from your present self to your future self, offering words of encouragement, strength, and hope. What do you want to remind yourself? What wisdom do you want to carry with you? Again, we will take 8 minutes for this exercise.
to go just on that final prompt on spirit.
Okay, so the purpose of a letter to your future self, it helps to tap into your resilience, and you have a lot of resilience, your self-compassion, and a sense of hope for the future, and we all need to hold on to that. So now we've come to the end of our writing exercises. And how's everyone feeling? I hope you're all feeling okay. Just taking a little time out for yourself and to release all the worries that have been building up inside, all the frustrations, the anger, sadness. It's a good way to release all of this if you, for some reason, find it difficult to verbally express yourselves. So just take a moment again and, have some water, and we'll move on to the final part of the workshop in a moment. Okay, so now we're going to go into a bit of reflection and sharing if you wish to do so. But before we do that, I just want you to gently close your eyes and make yourself comfortable before we open up the space for sharing. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the time and energy you've given to yourself today. Writing can bring up emotions we didn't expect. And whatever came up for you is completely valid. Now, just take a deep breath in and out, and let yourself settle into a space of reflection. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Now, I'd love to invite anyone who feels comfortable to share something from their writing. Remember, there's no pressure. So it's a safe space and you're in control of your own words. You can share as much as you like or as little. Or if you just want to put a sentence in the chat or a word in the chat, just, reflecting on how you're feeling right now and what stood out for you. We'd love to hear from you.
Jenny, we have Diane in there who's raised their hand.
Okay.
Diane, would you be willing to speak? If you can just let us know in the chat. Likewise, Paige, if you'd be happy to chat on screen. If you can just confirm in the chat, and then I can invite you up to speak. Otherwise, you're welcome to share any reflections just in the chat section. Just whilst we're waiting for people to confirm if they'd like to speak, Jenny, I mean, perhaps would it be useful if you perhaps shared some reflections on those on those 3 points in terms of what your reflection were on that first prompt.
Yeah. So obviously I've been writing away as well, just as all of you have. And when I was thinking, sort of like with the mind and that, I know the mind is just like full of questions and you're just wanting answers. Um, and my mind is saying, the worries you've been holding on to, the spectrum of emotions racing around in your mind, know that these are valid and know that it's okay to feel this way. So that's what I got from my writing on the mind.
Diane would like to speak. So Diane, I am promoting you to panelist now. If you'd like to turn on your microphone, and if you can turn on your camera as well, if you'd like, Diane. If you want to stay off camera, that's absolutely fine.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to put my camera on.
Not a problem.
Okay, so I was amazed at how small resentments came up in the first exercise. And I was diagnosed almost 10 years ago this April. And things just kept appearing and appearing and appearing in that first exercise. But by the time I got to the second exercise, there was a lot more compassion. There were fewer resentments. And by the time I was writing to my future self, I had some plans for how to keep this body continuing to get healthier and healthier and healthier. 10 years ago, when I was finishing my treatment and I was unable to maintain my bowels, I would always have newspaper. So that way I could pull over into a shopping center parking area in the loading dock and just do what I had to do, clean up after myself, clean up the area, and go. And I realized that's a lot different from where I am now, where now I simply have to go into a restroom quickly. But and there's a lot of compassion about that, knowing how I've changed. So thank you for reminding me that writing does help. I haven't been writing as much as I once did. I will be back to it. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Diane. You're very welcome. And it's natural thoughts as well to have resentment, with what we've gone through. But it's also good that you found the compassion for yourself as well. So do keep writing. Do keep writing, because you'll find that you'll come up with a lot more things, which will really help you as well. But thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate you coming back and speaking. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're just going to do the same with Susie. So Susie, if you could unmute. Hey, Susie, we can see you. That's great.
Okay, great. Hey, this is amazing. I joined late, but I'm really glad I'm here. And wow, I just need to say we need more of this, right? The only thing I could almost write on each of these was I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. I'll be 4 years this September in remission. Sorry, I get a little emotional still. But after being cleared, I went right back to work. And so I live busy all the time. And so jumping on this call and just seeing all you guys, like, we've got to stop, we got to breathe, and we've got to take care of ourselves. Just like the last speaker that spoke, you know, I run to the restroom 20 times a day. We have accidents all the time, et cetera, et cetera. And it's kind of learning the reality that this is the norm now going into year 4. But shoot, I really would have thought cancer would have slowed me down, you know, and it hasn't. And I do feel the effects of it. So doing this exercise is huge. What would my body tell me? My shoulders are tired. I just carry a lot. And what do I tell myself in a year from now? That I do need to slow down. Right? We know that anal cancer is or can be caused by stress. And yeah, I have a very intense job. I love my job, but that year off because of cancer was probably the best thing I ever could have done. And it's sad because you come back onto the computer and you go right back into the busy world of work. And yet we're reminded daily and hourly the effects of the cancer treatment in which we did go through. So anyhow, I totally applaud this call. I'm glad this is recorded because I will hopefully continue to listen to it maybe once a week to remind myself to slow down. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you for coming on and sharing, you know, your experiences as well. Of course, we're tired. It's a tiring thing going through this, you know, our body, our mind, our spirit, everything is just exhausted. And you're going to feel that heavy weight on your shoulders. And this is why this is, you know, the right to release is really good for that. So you can release all that. So your shoulders will lift. So you will feel a bit more relaxed and, you know, not carrying this heavy weight with you all the time. We're going to have days where we're going to be like that, of course. But if we can just get into, you know, sort of practice writing, you know, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, just so you're releasing all these thoughts, all these feelings, the emotions that you're going through, it really does help. It really does. But thank you for sharing all of that with us. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And I think I'll just add one last comment. What people or society doesn't realize, because there's so many cancers out there, right? And I've lost a lot of people to many different cancers, but as an anal cancer survivor, people other than us on this call and our caregivers, they just don't realize the long-term after effect that this treatment plan did on all of us, which is so different than other cancer treatments where maybe they work the full time or have gone back and just continue fine in life. Like we're forever impacted with anal cancer, in my opinion. And I think there needs to be a more awareness around that. I do know in the UK, I believe it is, that you can actually get a card. It's some type of a card where if you are about to have an accident, you can get in front of any bathroom line in their
Yes.
surrounding areas. I'm like, we need that here in the US, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But
We've been impacted.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, people who haven't experienced anal cancer fully cannot understand what you go through. You know, only you can. And this is why these sessions are really good because we're all in this together. We've all been through the same thing. We understand each other. There's no judgment from anybody. And on the outside world, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes, you know, to be able to voice how you're really feeling. You know, you're thinking, well, why will I say anything to you because you don't understand what I'm talking about? You can never understand what I'm talking about. And all these things go through our mind. So if we can't verbally, for whatever reason, speak about, you know, what we're going through, write everything down because the more you build up inside of you, the more resentment you have, the more anger you have. It just builds and builds and builds, and then you'll just explode, and maybe not in a very nice way, you know. So we don't want that to happen. So write things down just so you're offloading, unburden yourself with what you're going through. But
Thank you for
thank
this.
you
Yeah.
very much for sharing.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Shall I go next, Penny?
Yes, hi Anne.
Hello. Yes, I'm Anne, and I had anal cancer, finished treatment 1 year and 8 months ago. And I'm just so amazed at the recovery in that time. Um, I love these questions, and these are ones I'm going to actually write in more depth later.
Mm.
As far as the mind, my mind is screaming, slow down, let go, listen.
Yeah.
I'm a very intense person, but during the treatment, I was amazed how I did actually. It was the most mindful I have ever been in my whole life.
Mm.
I just let go to it, surrendered,
Yeah.
and trusted in the marvelous doctors and nurses. I just wrote about the kindness. I didn't feel like a victim at all. I just felt this is just go through this. It's day by day. It was literally so hanging on. Um, it was such a debilitating experience and not being able to walk. It affects everybody differently, but
Yeah.
just every symptom you can get, I got. And just for the mind, just I want to get back to that peace actually that I felt. And as far as the body, my body now is telling me, I need more activity. You need to give me, make me stronger. Um, I do physical therapy exercises every morning, but
Mm.
challenge more. My body's telling me to do that. So there are side effects that will always be there, and they are what they are.
Of course. Yeah.
I'll never be the hiker I quite was, but that's okay. I just realized that I'm more likely to be injured now, and of course the bathroom thing is I'm the other way, not going.
Yeah.
so so it's a different, just another thing to handle. It will be that way for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And the immune system is compromised. So that's actually affected my
Mm.
mind in that I've probably been overly cautious, not getting together with groups.
Mm.
But now I'm feeling, it's still suppressed, but not where it was. And so my spirit, imagining where I want to be, I love this idea of writing a letter.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was first to actually write down how I'd shown remarkable courage and steadfastness to go through it.
Yeah.
And I think people were amazed at that. But what can you do? I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like that. It was just a surrendering, not giving
Mm.
up, surrendering. And now what I want for the next year would be, I want to be even stronger. I want to visit museums. I want to go to parties with groups of people. I want to go to concerts. I think I'm not in that place. I'm still very cautious, but getting there.
Yeah.
And all how I felt going through this whole experience, I actually feel really thankful. I feel a wiser person, have more compassion for other people,
Mm-hmm.
circumstances. Um, I probably have more compassion for myself, but it's a work in progress. And I do take I've been doing a meditation class ever since, and that really is helpful. So the exercises you were doing are something I'm familiar with, I do, and it's very valuable. And the lady that just spoke, who is very driven with her work, I was that way. I'm not working, retired now. That drive is there.
Mm-hmm.
Important to stop.
Yeah.
And I think I realize that so much more now. So thank you for doing this class.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. There's one thing there that I picked up on what you said was about trust. It's all about trust and trusting in the process, trusting your oncologist, trusting your doctors, trusting the people around you. And that can be very difficult when you're going through all of this. It can be very difficult to trust, but I'm glad you mentioned that actually, because I think it's quite important that we do learn to trust and to trust ourselves as well.
And probably I didn't at first, but as I started treatment, they were so remarkable. And I
Mm,
thought, genius. And then, of course, they see you suffering, and they're there to help. There's a lot of compassion that really does help. And I'd like to, I'm not embarrassed. A lot of people are embarrassed about being in cancer. I don't want to be embarrassed. I
yeah,
want to spread the word. I
yeah,
tell, I don't know anyone with this cancer, um, but I did find it here through this wonderful organization.
yeah, absolutely.
Incredibly helpful. So thank you for all the work you do.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you, Anne. Thank you for sharing.
Hey, could we ask you to share? Welcome just to unmute, or if you'd like to turn your camera on as well.
Am I muted now?
No,
I
we
think
can hear you now.
okay. And like, let me see, is my video on now?
You're just coming on now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I love what all you have done and the importance of writing. And I've done quite a bit of writing on this subject. And I love what Susie had to say, and I could not second how it affects our lives and kind of what I've devoted my writing to as far as for anal cancer is normalizing the shame that goes along with our issues. And so many people have this, which I have learned because where a lot of my anger came from was I lost my career as a result of it because I had a career where there was no way that I was a medical pharmaceutical rep. There was no way I could do that job without being right next to a bathroom. And it was really hard for me because people look at you and people don't realize the long-term effects of anal cancer. And it got to where I didn't even want to go talk to people because they would ask me why I wasn't going back to work. And so I came up with a little catchy thing to say. I would say, you're safe right now, but if you get between the bathroom and me over there, I will run you over like a linebacker. And that would kind of get a chuckle. And this one woman said to me, oh, that happened on my first day. So she was with my friend and she said, I wrote a poem about it. And I said, would you please share it? And so she pulled it out from her phone and it said, had a date today. Hello? Oh, it said, had a date today. And I sharted on the way. It wasn't until I stood up that I said, oh, bleep, I can't believe this is real, the way my panties feel. I won't go on with the rest of the poem, but I said, that is so, I just loved it because it was so compassionate. And I said, could I have that? Because I would like to use this to create something bigger to raise awareness for anal cancer and HPV. It is so important to get the message out that it is a proven vaccine and it is preventable for so many people. But I have put together I created a character from this poem, and then I've asked other people to share their poetry and their little tiny short stories. And so many of these stories have come from people that don't even have IBS, but these things happen. And the writing, it gave me something, kind of a purpose to something to look forward to and something to do. And I hope to put this together, and I hope to recruit some stories from people. They're not all poems. A lot of them are even just things that happened that are told in a humorous way that happened when they were in elementary school. But there are very long-term effects. For me, it ended my career. That was something that I have had a lot of time, I've had to accept that, and that has not been easy. But I'm doing very well, and I'm very grateful for that, and I feel very good. But like Susie said, there'll always be issues that we will be dealing with.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you ever so much, Paige. Thank you for sharing that.
Feline is next. Feline, if you'd like to speak.
Yeah, hi, my name's Pauline. I went through anal cancer in 2019. I'm 5 years post-treatment now, which is great. And when I was going through it, writing was what was my salvation. I would send out an email to a select group of friends, which by the time I was a year post-treatment had grown to over 75 people. And I'd send a message out, if not daily, at least weekly for that time period, just talking about what was going on. And as someone mentioned, the shame of anal cancer, I had shame even just for having any kind of cancer, let alone anal. And then there's a special shame with having a sexually transmitted cancer that everybody thinks you got by having anal intercourse, which, you know, if you want to get anal cancer, it'll help, but it's by no means required. So writing is a powerful tool. It helped me stay connected, because a lot of my recovery was during COVID when we were isolated. And also for me, it was easier to write things than to talk to people directly sometimes. And it also gave me something to do that I got joy from. Writing and polishing the writing before I'd send out an email was something I could take pride in being able to share. So I just want to say writing is incredibly important for some of us. And I'm been very active in the community since, and I'm trying to up awareness of anal cancer and all the things that we need to know. I particularly am trying to get frontline doctors aware that it's really easy to do a simple test. I mean, to see if it's a hemorrhoid or if it's anal cancer. They feel very different. So that's what I have to say. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to say it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you're continuing with your writing as well, because it really does help, as you say. Thank you.
Matty, you are on screen if you'd like to either unmute or unmute and share your camera. Oh,
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Oh, I can't see myself. So am I on?
We can hear you, but we can't see you. If you'd like to turn your camera on.
So my camera, oh, start video. Here we go. Okay.
There we go. We can see you now.
Okay. I can't see me, but that doesn't matter. My name is Mary. I live in the Boston area. I'm in Florida at the moment, which is relevant. And I had anal cancer in 2012. So I'm a long-term survivor. And writing wasn't so much my salvation. As doing art. I'm an artist, and during the time of my treatment, I painted, and I called that series my Anal Annals. So anal and annals, ANNALS, and I liked that play on words. So that was my contribution to poetry or writing. And I do write sometimes. I'm not a good writer, and it's hard to do, but I think it's very useful. And I did want to say a couple things. I also have long-term effects. I have to be impeccable about what I eat, and when I am, I do really well. I don't have leakage. I have regular bowel movements, and everything is fine. But if I stray, forget it. And the other thing is recently, I thought that there was something growing again. And I went to my primary care, and no one does anal pap smears around here. I mean, you really have to fight. And I still haven't found someone. And they wouldn't even do a pap smear, even though I said that I had a squamous cell cancer, the same as cervical cancer. You have to fight down here in Florida. In Boston, it's a little different. So as the previous person was saying, there's a simple test and doctors don't know about it, or they're not willing to do it. And what else did I want to say? I love that you offered this today. And Oh yeah, the other thing struggling with side effects is intercourse. Even though I've done pelvic floor therapy, there's still just not enough room. And I'd love to hear from other people if they've had any success in that arena. And yeah, I appreciate that you did this, and it's wonderful to hear other people's stories. So thank you.
Thank you, Matty. Thank you. I think anything we do creative, whether that be writing, art, or music, can only be a good thing. It's great for our mental health, especially when we're going through cancer. So thank you so much, Matty. Right.
Maria, over to you. I think, Maria, you'll be our final one because we have gone slightly over. So, Maria, you'll be our final speaker for today.
Okay, thank you. I had cancer, anal cancer, 7 years ago, and I just happened to turn on the TV last weekend, and I saw the doctor who identified my cancer got cancer himself, colorectal cancer. And I was upset for him, and I was upset for me too, because I think to myself, who will help me now if anything comes back?
I'm sorry to hear that your doctor has got the cancer, but there will be other oncologists and doctors that will see to you and treat you if anything does occur.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for everyone for sharing those thoughts. I know it's very courageous of you to do so, and I'm sorry that we didn't manage to get to absolutely everyone there, but we have gone slightly over time. But please do share any comments or reflections with us that you've written. We'd love to hear them. But Jenny, if I can hand back to you for those final reflections and to wrap up.
Thank you, David. Thank you. First of all, thank you everybody for joining us today. And I really hope that you found a piece of time for yourself to release your thoughts and your feelings. As we close this part of the session, I want you to take a moment to recognise the strength it takes to put words to your experience, whether you shared aloud or simply wrote for yourself. Writing is a personal journey. There's no right way to express yourself. What matters is that you showed up for yourself today. So what I'm going to do now is just close on a meditation. So if you can find a comfortable position and gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. I want you to place your hand over your heart and take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Let yourself acknowledge whatever emotions have surfaced during today's writing. There's no right or wrong way to feel. Just allow whatever is present to be here without judgment. You have given space to your thoughts, your feelings, and your journey, and that is something to honour. Now I invite you to bring your awareness to a feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for yourself, for taking this time, for putting pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, for allowing your voice to be heard, even if only by you. Gratitude for this community, for knowing that you are not alone, and gratitude for the resilience within you, whether you feel it strongly today or just a quiet whisper always present. Now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine letting go of anything you no longer need to carry in this moment. When you feel ready, gently bring your awareness back to the present. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch if you need to, and in your own time, open your eyes. thank you, everybody, for being here today, for sharing this space, and for allowing yourself this time to write, reflect, and release. So be kind to yourself as you move forward. Sending lots of love and blessings to you all.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Goodbye.